Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, November 5th, 2019. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. President Trump challenging impeachment at a rally in Kentucky. The U.S. stock market hits an all-time high. The USA formally exits the Paris Climate Agreement. U.S. citizens killed and kidnapped in a cartel shootout in Mexico. A new study says millennials feel inadequate dealing with day-to-day life. Also coming up, unmasking the whistleblower. But first, President Trump addressing a packed arena in Lexington, Kentucky, telling supporters ISIS mastermind al-Baghdadi punched his one-way ticket to hell during an anti-terror raid in Syria last week. The chief executive urging the 20,000 in attendance to send a, quote, angry signal to Democrats on Election Day. The Dow Jones hitting an all-time high, smashing records on news of a potential trade breakthrough between the U.S. and China. Overall, the markets are up 19% so far this year. The president advising Americans to, quote, spend their money well before the 2020 election. Don't know exactly what that means. White House formally leaving the Paris Climate Accord, a deal Donald Trump describes as the worst in world history. Secretary of State Pompeo confirming the decision, saying the USA must exit the agreement because of unfair economic burden imposed on American taxpayers and businesses. At least 6 children and 3 women living in an American Mormon community in Mexico were killed during a drug cartel shootout. Early reports say others were kidnapped in the daylight ambush. Those attacked were members of the LeBaron family, a well-known enclave of fundamentalists living in northern Mexico for decades. The Mexican government cannot or will not control the drug cartels, so the violence continues. A new study shows more than 80% of young Americans feel inadequate in their day-to-day lives, claiming they experience mental health issues due to social media and stress at the workplace. In all, nearly 6 in 10 say the expectations of modern society are simply too much to handle. The words poor babies come to mind. In a moment, the message of the day, unmasking the whistleblower. Right back with it. Do you or a loved one suffer from sleep apnea and require the use of a CPAP machine? Did you know that manufacturers recommend you wash your sleep equipment every day with soap and water? Fortunately, there's an easier option. SoClean is the fast and easy way to maintain your sleep equipment. With SoClean, you just put the equipment in, close the lid, walk away. It's 100% waterless. SoClean gives you peace of mind knowing your sleep equipment is properly maintained every night. With nearly 9,000 5-star reviews, it's time to check it out for yourself. Right now, for my listeners, you can try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. So don't wait and call 1-800-520-1279 or go to SoClean.com to take advantage of this 30-night risk-free trial and free shipping. Again, that's 1-800-520-1279 or go to SoClean.com right now. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Who is the person who started all this impeachment business? The whistleblower. According to reporting from RealClear.com, the man's name is Eric Ciaramella, a 33-year-old CIA analyst assigned to the White House. Mr. Ciaramella is a Democrat who has worked for Joe Biden in the past. Thus, his motivation is suspect. And now President Trump is demanding that he be questioned in public. But the federal whistleblower law contains a provision of anonymity. It is known that the whistleblower brought his complaint to Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff days before he filed it. Schiff is now driving the impeachment process from his position as chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Thus, the whole thing has a bad vibe to it, much like the phony dossier that began the Russian collusion investigation. You will remember that foreign nationals were paid to dig up dirt on then candidate Donald Trump. The money came from Hillary Clinton's campaign and the Democratic National Committee, both of which have not been held to account for that. Well, that might change with the current Justice Department investigation, but Robert Mueller, to his shame, totally ignored it. Now, the USA faces another disruptive situation driven by people who want to put an end to Donald Trump's presidency. The way many in the media are reporting this, Mr. Trump did something heinous by asking the president of Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and corruption in general attached to the Obama administration. As the chief law enforcement officer of the United States, the president has a right to root out possible corruption. However, this does not look good because Joe Biden is a political rival to Donald Trump. But the reporting is hysterical. Many outlets have convicted President Trump of impeachable offenses in the Ukraine situation, just as they did with the Russian collusion. And when Robert Mueller came back with his report, there were no mass apologies by the media. There weren't any apologies at all about anything. And the whole thing went away, evaporated. But now, as I said, the country is besieged by talk of impeachment. So the bottom line on this is the American public has to decide 1 year from today whether or not to return Donald Trump to office. That is the real impeachment. This stuff about Ukraine will probably get to the Senate. The Democrats can't pull back now. But in the meantime, there's going to be embarrassing revelations about the Democratic Party, Adam Schiff, the whistleblower, all of those people. And there may be embarrassing revelations about President Trump's behavior. It's possible. But the Senate of the United States, unless something new comes forth, is not going to remove the president. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message of the day. I also wrote it. For more analysis, please go to BillO'Reilly.com. In a moment, something you might not know. You've been hearing about gold all over the news. Prices continue to climb. Not surprising. Experts warning a recession could happen. But pay attention to the banks. Some of them ran out of cash last Monday night and had to borrow money from the Federal Reserve. Since last week, more than $500 billion has been printed and given to the banks just so they could stay in business. Sound familiar? Remember in 2008 when the Fed had to bail out the banks? Well, it's happening again. Americans are looking for stability, and many are turning to gold and precious metals as a way to protect their savings and retirements. That's why I recommend that you contact American Hartford Gold Group now to learn more. To get you started, American Hartford Gold Group will gift you a free silver coin. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is call them. 877-444-GOLD. That's 877-444-GOLD. So please give them a call today to claim your free coin. Available for a limited time only. 877-444-4653. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. Today marks Election Day in the United States, when millions of us will head to the ballot box to determine the future of towns, states, the federal government. This is a freedom some of us, many of us, take for granted. Every year, the annual Freedom in the World report ranks the world's 195 countries based on civil liberties, political rights, and other criteria. In 2018, last year, 88 countries were considered mostly free. Not surprisingly, most of them can be found in North America, South America, Europe, Australia. Unfortunately, 49 nations are designated not free at all. And here are some of the worst places. Saudi Arabia, where women just won the right to drive automobiles last June. The country's strict adherence to Islamic law leads to some pretty harsh punishments. Thieves can have their hands cut off. Each year in the kingdom, 150 public executions, most by beheading or crucifixion. Saudi Arabia's freedom index is 7 out of 10. Next, North Korea, notorious for the cult of personality surrounding the Kim dynasty. The regime currently operates a network of 25 gulags containing 200,000 political prisoners. North Korea score 4 out of 100. South Sudan nears the top of the list. South Sudan, plagued by civil war, HIV, famine. Its dictator is famous for wearing a Stetson cowboy hat given to him by President George W. Bush. South Sudan's freedom score 3 out of 100. Tied near that, Libya, Central African Republic, Somalia, and Cuba. But the least free place on earth, Syria. Country is ravaged by civil war. The capital is ruled by a brutal dictator, al-Assad. Vast sections are controlled by terrorists, and life expectancy has dropped to the lowest level in 40 years. Syria's freedom index, a shocking -1 out of 100. How low can you go? Ask al-Assad. Back after this. Millions of Americans have been diagnosed with cancer or a serious illness. If you are one of them and money is a problem, you're not alone. It's simple. If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, then Life Guide Partners can evaluate your coverage for free to see if you qualify for cash now when you need it the most. Be ready to take down this number. If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more and you are living with a serious illness, then Life Guide Partners can evaluate your coverage free to see if you qualify for cash now. So write this number down, 1-888-GUIDE-50. Totally free to call. Get rid of those insurance premiums. Stop paying them. Consider turning that life policy into cash. The number again, 1-888-GUIDE-50. 1-888-484-3350. 1-888-GUIDE-50. Call now. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.